Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. All right guys, so I am going to show you how to navigate this crazy recall on the Umarex TR50. Let's take a look. All right guys, so just a little bit of background for you. If you own a Umarex TR50, particularly the Gen 1, the Gen 2s are not affected by this at all. There's been a recall on these for a period of about, 12 to 14 months. They had changed the manufacturing process, unbeknownst to Umarex actually, on the valves. And to kind of give you a little bit of background on that, what that means is this is a TR50 valve. Now guys, if you look at Stumpy here, the valve sits just like this in the launcher, okay? This is where the CO2 comes in from the bottom and goes out. This is the valve block right here. This is the CO2 chamber, okay? So for a period of about 14 months or so, give or take a little bit, what they were doing is where this valve is sealed on this to this aluminum from this point is crimped on here, okay? Now, in the original Gen 1s, we're talking the original run of the TR50s, this valve was actually crimped and threaded, all right? They went away from that for a short period of time, and they put out a valve that was only crimped around the edges, okay? Now, what that causes is if people leave these charged for extended periods of time, it can cause the CO2 chamber to actually break the crimp and fire out of the bottom of the launcher. That is correct. It can cause this to fire out of the bottom of the launcher, which can actually break the launcher and do some pretty serious damage. I've seen them actually lodged in drywall and stuff. So you want to be real careful about that. The other thing that could cause this, and this was actually more common than just leaving it charged, was over tightening on these. Now I did a video relatively recently, guys, where I showed you, and I'll throw a link up here, how easy they were to actually break that seal on the original valves. This was a problem, right? I mean, anytime, especially if you got people out there that were trying to modify or upgrade these, if you HPA tapped one of those, you had a pretty high probability of blowing the entire valve body and CO2 chamber apart. It got to Umarex. Now, I had told you guys about this problem well over a year ago, year and a half actually. And I let you know that I had worked with Umarex, they had corrected the issue and had put out the new valves. Now those are the valves that if you buy them from me, that's the ones you're getting. They're threaded, they're crimped, and they're Loctited. You cannot break them. I had to actually put full force with a pair of well, like I said, I'll put a link up here for you, but with a pipe wrench to try to break that thing off. They're solid as a rock. Now, that being said, there are two ways to identify if you've got the newer valve. Well, three ways technically because we got the serial numbers, but we'll get to that in a minute as well as the process. If you've got the newer valve, you'll see that this valve has actually got a small black mark across the front here. When they first produced the new valves to replace the defective valves, they didn't have a way to mark the body. So all they did is they put a black mark across the edge there. That actually signifies that this is a threaded valve. Now, if you look into the bottom of it, the other very easy way to tell is, you see how there's a CO2 restrictor down there? See that? That is a factory CO2 restrictor. That did not come in the original Gen 1 valve or the Gen 2s that were busted. This is specifically on this particular valve. In fact, even the late generation Gen 2s, the new ones that are threaded, don't have that. But it's real easy to tell. Now, the other way to tell is if you've got a white line, a vertical white line running right down the back of the CO2 chamber itself. If that white line is there and it's actually stenciled in, if it's there, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. Now, on the website, and I'm going to throw a link to the website down there, okay, so you can see this, but I'm going to bring up this page onto the side over here so we can look at this together. Now, one thing you're going to notice is it tells you there's a serial number range, and that serial number range is, first two numbers are the year, so 2022 to 2023. The rest of it is alphabetical, A, B, C, and then numbers on down, okay? So, if you look at the serial number on this particular launcher I've got, and you see this is a 23E. So since the recall stopped at a 23C, this has got the correct valve in it. But if it had been a 23C, B, or A, any number, it's eligible for the recall. And likewise with the 22. You'll see that we got the 22 there. Anything that is after that 22, so after where it says there or before the C on the 23, those are eligible for the recall. Now, here's what you do. This is where it's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie to you. This is actually really cool. First off, this assumes you have not modified your launcher. If you've got one of those that's in the recall and you've HPA tapped it and modded the snot out of it, you're not going to be able to do the factory swap here. But here's the cool thing. If you've got your stock launcher still, okay, now knocking out the valve block is no big deal. But if you've got your stock launcher and you've got that valve in it still, you've got two options. The first one is fill out the paperwork here with your serial number, because you'll see it there too. And they will take this one back from you. And as I recall, I think they actually pay shipping. You have to, well, I'll verify that. And they will send you a brand new Gen 2 TR50. So there's a huge advantage there. Number one, you're going to get the correct valve, but number two, you're going to go ahead and upgrade your Gen 1 to a Gen 2 with the easy puncture and the twist to release. You definitely want that. And they're going to do all of that at their expense, which is really, really, really cool, guys. Now, the other option is if you had that version and you purchased the valves from me, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. It's as strong or stronger than a Gen 2 anyway, so don't even worry about that. If you would rather replace your valve with me, I still have them available for every Umarex launcher, and I mean all of them. I've got the HDB, TR50, TR68, and the HDP50 over there, all of them ready to go. You can just shoot me an email and we'll get something going for you. That being said, that is the story for the recall for the TR50, okay? I am very glad that they acknowledged this issue. I really am. Now, from what I understand, guys, and this is from the horse's mouth, okay, this came directly from Umarex. No other units were affected in that batch. So the HDBs, the TR68s, and the HDP50s from that same era should be fine. It was only a TR50 is what I am being told currently. If I find out anything differently, I'll let you know. But that's the trick, and I wanted to make sure that you guys knew exactly what's going on with this recall. Very simple, guys. Fill out that paperwork, put in the serial number, and you're going to get a Gen 2. It's great. It's pretty simple. This is what we need from companies, guys. We need them to be responsive like this. It took them a while to come out with the recall, which is a little annoying, but at least it came, right? I mean, that's kind of the point. At least they are working forward to correct the issue, which is what really counts. Once again, easy to do this, easy to swap it. You're going to get your new one on there. Or if you need a new valve and you don't want to wait, I've got them right here. It's not a problem. This is basically a full power drop-in mod too. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. I'm going to give you a sneak peek because I'm going to be dropping a video early next week. Somebody, and I have no idea who this is, but they are now my hero, sent me in an LTL Charlie. Guys, the reason we're not getting into this right now, this thing is heavy. I mean heavy. In fact, I think it's even heavier than the Bravo, and you guys remember how heavy that one was. This looks cool. And I don't want to like do this any injustice by doing a short video. We're going to do a full video on it, and that's going to be dropping for you at the first of the week. So yeah, I wanted to make sure you knew about that. So take care of your TR50s, guys. If you need a valve, take care of your valves. I'll take care of this video, and you take care of each other out there. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.